Hello there, I'm Mike Raymond, and tonight I'm at the Sydney Showground for a very good reason. The most important speed car racing night of the year, the grand final of the Craven Filter $8,000 National Drivers' Championship. This current series started in August of 1967 and has been conducted over 32 weeks. Tracks, plenty of them, and drivers have been all around Australia chasing points. Johnny Stewart, Howard Revell have been fighting out this Craven Filter National Championship very, very fiercely. They've been to Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, and also heading up towards Brisbane. The Craven Filter National Championship was inaugurated about 3 years ago. It was won by Peter Caneen, $2,400 competition. The following year, prize money soared to $4,000. It was won by Johnny Stewart. And last year, up to $6,000. Again, Johnny Stewart took the big money. This year, however, he has a fight on his hands, and it's in the form of a 23-year-old Sydney driver by the name of Howard Revell. Revell has been the outstanding discovery of the 1967-68 season, and only 8 points separate Howard Revell and Johnny Stewart in the quest for the National Championship Grand Final tonight at the Sydney Showground. Revell must win the event tonight, a 50-lap Grand Final. Should he finish second and Stewart fourth, it will be a tie. There are any other number of combinations which could occur. But in a few moments' time, we'll have the Craven Filter National $8,000 Speed Car Championship Grand Final. Already, the field's starting to line up for the event. Position number 1 on 108 points, New South Wales driver Kevin Gormley in car number 24, the Morton fuel-injected Holden. Position number 2, outside front row on 117 points, Sid Clark, car number 51, the Pont Auto Service Holden. Position number 3, inside second row, driving car number 17, the Atlas Tyres Holden, on 125 points, 1965 Craven Filter National Champion, Peter Caneen. Position number 4, outside of the second row, on 144 points, in Holden Special number 18, is veteran Victorian driver Frank Nankerville. Inside row 3, position number 5, driving car number 97 on 147 points, is 1967 World Derby winner Gary McClenahan. Position number 6, outside third row on 151 points, at the wheel of the Bill Buckle Toyota, is Sid Middlemas. Position number 7, inside row 4 on 163 points from New South Wales, Peter Boland in the ER&S prepared Murray Holden number 4. Position number 9, inside row 5 on 171 points, and at the wheel of second string Capital Motors Offenhauser is former apprentice jockey Ray Oram. Position number 10, outside row 5, runner-up in last year's Craven Filter Series on 189 points, and behind the wheel of the performance cars Offenhauser is Queenslander Blair Shepherd. Outside, position number 12 on 222 points, and driving car number 9 is leading Victorian driver Peter Maltby. Row 7, and from the inside, position 13, on 256 points, is colourful Queensland driver Bill Good at the helm of the Mulcahy brothers prepared Imperial Motors Offenhauser. From the outside, in position 14, on 280 points, a long way from home tonight in Holden Speed Car number 21, is West Australian Jeff Stanton. Row 8 from the inside, position 15, state final winner George Tatnall on 300 points, and driving the ER&S prepared ACA Holden number 25. Outside, position number 16 on 322 points, and almost unbeaten this season in his home state, Western Australia, is Bill Jost in Holden Special car number 4. And from the extreme back mark, position number 18 on 454 points, holder of the title for the past 2 years, Johnny Stewart, who will drive car number 98, the ER&S prepared Hodgson Shell track burner entry from position number 18 in the field.
Well, of course, all interest centres on this classic battle to come between Johnny Stewart and Howard Revell for outright prize money and the outright honour of becoming the Craven Filter National Champion. But the field as we look at them now with Bill Jost out. We have Dave McKittrick has come into the field, and he'll now hold down the pole position, sharing it with Kevin Gormley. So Dave McKittrick replacing Bill Jost in this field in 23. On the pole, outside of him, Kevin Gormley in 24. Now, any of the first 6 cars could get away with this race. They won't necessarily, of course, win the Craven Filter Championship. The hot shots, because of their draw, appear to be Sid Middlemas in 54, who has drawn position 6, and Barry Butterworth from position 8. Also, Ray Oram in the Capital Motors Offie, car number 7, from position 9. They could easily take out this race. It's a fairly heavy track. Wheel packed down now. It seems to be built for power, this track. The lightweight cars wouldn't have a show. And when you look at them coming around, nose to tail, 18 of the fastest midgets in Australia, what a job Howard Revell and Johnny Stewart have to try and get through this packed field. Some of the greatest drivers in Australia in front of them, but they're coming around with McKittrick on the pole, Gormley outside of him, and this will probably be a start. A few cribbing at the back. Gormley getting the jump into turn number 1. Peter Canine charging on the outside, McKittrick hanging down low. Following them through is Sid Clark, and they're successfully negotiated turn number 1. Peter Canine goes for an outside run and gets the lead down the back straight away. Peter Canine into the lead from Kevin Gormley, then Dave McKittrick. Cars all over the track. Let's pick up the back markers. There is Revell. He's lost about 4 places on Stewart. Stewart has kicked away. Here comes Revell with an outside charge, and Revell went past 4 cars coming out of pit corner, and here are the 2 to battle out the Craven Filter Championship, already running wheel to wheel. Johnny Stewart in 98, a length and a half clear. Howard Revell as they go into the back straight away. They are still a long, long way from the leaders, of course, but Revell has done what he wanted to do, get a wheel or so ahead of Howard Revell. Coming out of the pit corner, the lead though still held by Peter Canine. Kevin Gormley running 2nd. Coming up for a charge into 3rd place then in 76 is Barry Butterworth, and down the back straight away we've had one pull out. The red lights are flashing. It'll be a nose to tail restart. Going to pick up the car now. That's Bill Good from Queensland, apparently has spun out going into the back straight away. Bad luck for Peter Canine, who kicked a long, long way in front. And nose to tail restart in a sensational opening to the Craven Filter Grand Final.
And I noticed the RevPack battery tender vehicle has shot across to Bill Good. Good has pulled out on the track, and he wants to run. Only 2 laps gone in the race so far, and there's Good being pushed back on the infield as the RevPack battery vehicle moves up behind to get him under steam. Good apparently quite okay. Was running particularly well in last year's Craven Filter Series, was right at the lead until the final night, but an accident put him right out of the picture. Here he is forming up now. The field is particularly strong, and they're all closed up nose to tail. Revell right on the tail of Stewart, and Stewart is going to have the job on his hands tonight to hold back Revell, who is really working hard. There's Good being pushed away in Queensland, Offenhauser number 5, the Mulcahy brothers Offie, and he's underway. He'll be taking up his position at the tail end of the field. And the black flag going out to Bill Good too, sensationally, by the stewards. They've given him the black flag and told him to pull to the infield. So the $8,000 National Championship final has lasted only 2 laps for Brisbane driver Bill Good. Field moving up into position now, about half a lap remaining before we get a restart to the event. Peter Canine sitting out in front, holding down the pole position. Behind him, Kevin Gormley. Then the Chargers right on his tail. Barry Butterworth and the Capital Motors Offie, Sid Middlemas and Ray Oram. The battle between Stewart and Revell is already on as they swing onto the home straight away, and the pace of plenty. Peter Canine wins the jump over Kevin Gormley. Barry Butterworth tucked down inside. Sid Middlemas going around the outside of Oram. Next is McKittrick over Queenslander Shepard. Then Boland getting a flyer through on the inside. Was tailed off by Gary Rush, and the next one to go through was Sid Clark. Stewart died beneath Clark going down into the bottom corner, and also trying to follow suit here is Howard Revell. Stewart gets a nose in front as Peter Canine still in lead. Middlemas going into the side almost of Oram that time as we pick him up through Craven Filter corner, and now onto the back straight away. Plenty of RevPack machines in this event, and the pace of plenty now as we pick them up going down the back straight away. Here's Stewart in 98, the Ron Hodgson track burner Shell Special, and Revell trying to fight his way through the pack. Clark's just ahead of him, and Revell needs to pass Stewart if he's had any chance of winning the event.
Well, Johnny Stewart driving like a man possessed has come through to the middle of the pack in car number 98. There's Revell on right of screen trying for an inside pass on Clark. He must get it or he's right out of it. There goes Johnny Stewart in the pit corner on the tail of Gary Rush in 65, and Stewart has a couple of cars now between himself and Howard Revell. That's where he wants to be, at least ahead of Stewart no matter where he finishes. Ahead of Revell into turn number 1, and there's Howard Revell doing all sorts sorts of things to try and get around the leaders, but Johnny Stewart is slowly but surely pegging them back as he goes down the back straight away, lines up a pit corner on the tail of Gary Rush. There's Howard Reville. He's got past everybody and again is on the tail of Johnny Stewart. Here's the leader, Peter Caneen from Barry Butterworth, then Ray Oram and Sid Middlemas as they go into turn number 1 and out of it once more. And here's Howard Reville driving desperately now to try and peg back the gap, but he's a long, long way behind Johnny Stewart. He'll have to do something, or Stewart will put some more cars between himself and Howard Reville. There's Stewart in 98 going for an inside run on Gary Rush in 65 as they go down the main straightaway. A wall of cars ahead of him. Tremendous driving, and it's difficult to tell who's going to win this one. Stewart goes for an outside run now. Ahead of him, Peter Boland gets a bit locked up. Stewart again tries for an inside run as he goes down the back straightaway. Pulls around the outside of one car, blocked again, goes for the inside on Gary Rush as Peter Boland skips away. And here's the leader, Peter Caneen, leading Barry Butterworth, going extremely high. Oram gets a bit of a nudge there from Sid Middlemas, but it straightens itself out. Those two lost a bit of ground. And again, Howard Reville coming into the picture to try and mow down Johnny Stewart. The field now beginning to become spread out, and all the interest now settling on Howard Reville, now on the tail of Johnny Stewart.
And look at Reville switching to the outside, moves up on the tail. Stewart took a look then, he knows Revelle's on his tail now. He mightn't have known before, but the battle for the $8,000 Craven Filter money is certainly on. Stewart hugging the inside line, right on the tail of Rush, looks to the outside, and look at Reville. He's looking towards the inside, almost got him that time around. They switched to the bottom corner. Reville looking for that outside line. There's plenty of drive there. Stewart forced to hug to the inside. Can't afford to give too much ground away. They cover the last 10 laps of the event in record pace, and Barry Butterworth going under Peter Caneen for the lead, and Oram buying it with him. Coming down the back straight away, and Barry Butterworth's hit the front with Ray Oram on his tail. Peter Caneen is the next one through, followed by Middlemas. Then the action of plenty with Stewart and Reville. Here's where the action is. Reville inside Stewart, and Stewart inside Revelle's teammate Gary Rush. And plenty of team driving very prominent here tonight as they come to the inside. Here's Reville right on the tail of Stewart. He's been battling hard. Lap after lap, they come onto the back straight away. Stewart just can't clear himself of Gary Rush, and Reville desperately has to pass him in order to wind up in the big money tonight.
Well, what an epic duel this is slowly but surely building into. Johnny Stewart still a fraction ahead of Howard Reville. There's Stewart getting for an outside run on Gary Rush. He's very high, he could become unstuck here. Reville dives for the inside, but Stewart just managed to get down ahead of Reville. Dives for the outside, and Reville now going for the inside on Johnny Stewart on pit corner, and car number 65 there driven by Gary Rush. Stewart out of pit corner, goes high now, look for a way around Gary Rush as they go down the finish straight away into turn number 1. Howard Reville glued to the tail of Johnny Stewart. Stewart gets up on the inside of Gary Rush. This could be the breakthrough. They're coming around to lap Peter Maltby, the Victorian, on into the fence further back there. Oh, bad luck there for that particular car. That was Gary Rush as Peter Boland sneaks up on the inside of Stewart, who spun. Stewart spun on pit corner. He's right up the track. He's going to restart. Stewart's managed to keep the motor going, and he's spun in a complete circle, desperately trying to get himself mobile. The motor's still running, and Stewart, I think, has lost all chance. He's lost at least half a lap, but he's mobile again. Bad luck for Johnny Stewart, pressured as he went out of pit corner.
Peter Boland, the driver who brought Stewart undone that time, and I'll guarantee he'll have something to say about that later on tonight. Barry Butterworth in front now comes up to lap Stewart, and he has Oram right on his tail, and the order of the race reads Butterworth the leader over Ray Oram, and the next one back two on the inside would be Sid Middlemas. Next is Peter Caneen, then Kevin Gormley. The next one through them would be Shepherd, and Butterworth now moving up on the tail of Stewart. Stewart is still there, and Reville still working away on the inside of Oram. The lap sticking by, 16 gone in the Craven Filter 50 lapper in the top corner, and still the battle royal rages here as Butterworth looks towards the inside of Stewart. They come onto the home straight away, and Stewart told to pull down. Butterworth switches to the outside. Stewart in there with him, and Oram also tried to carry on, and Stewart being passed here by the two of them, tries to tag onto the tag end of Butterworth's car and drops in between Butterworth and Oram. And here's where the action is. Here's Oram coming inside of Stewart down in the bottom corner, forcing hard all the way, trying to have a spin at him as he swung to the outside, and Stewart looks as though he's got the field against him tonight as he swings inside of Oram, and Oram a little unshaken by that move.
Well, Johnny Stewart now a lap behind many of the cars, and he's right out of it unless a miracle occurs, because Howard Reville is a mile in front of him. Here's Johnny Stewart still in it, still trying to do something, but I think his chances are diminishing as the seconds tick away. Here's Ray Oram at speed, and back on pit corner, Howard Reville coming up on the tail of Peter Boland. It looks like a Craven Filter championship for Howard Reville, if only he can stay out of trouble right to the finish. Here he is, coming in underneath Peter Boland. Reville at right of screen, Boland just ahead of him, and Reville trying the safe line now to stay out of trouble until the finish of the race. Again on the tail of Peter Boland as they go into pit corner. Boland in 4, ahead of them is Gormley in 24. Howard Reville not wanting to mix it at this stage. He's happy to sit where he is. He knows that Johnny Stewart has spun and has lost the best part of 3/4 of a lap. Revell getting a bit tangled up this time as he comes up on the tail of Peter Boland, and ahead of them still is Kevin Gormley. Onto the next straightaway. It's still Gormley leading from Boland and then Revell as they go into pit corner. One false move here by Gormley could bring Howard Revell unstuck, and the field really spread out now. Howard Revell very content just to stay where he is. He's not going to try any dramatics. Here he is again coming out of the member stand corner with Gormley and left of screen leading Peter Boland, and Howard Revell trimming the inside, just following them through and just happy to stay where he is. Going very high though into pit corner. There's Howard Revell in two, getting out of trouble as he anticipated a bit of spinning there and pulled right out of it. On car number 9 being lapped for the second time was Peter Maltby. Here's Howard Revell again. He's coming up on the tail now of Kevin Gormley as Peter Boland has skipped clear of those two, and Maltby again being lapped. Here's the leader, Barry Butterworth, leading from Ray Oram as those two go through the member stand corner. There's Kevin Gormley pulling out, got his hand up, a very silly place to do it, right in the middle of pit corner. He's being lapped and he'll have to pull up on the infield as soon as he possibly can.
And Revell running in 7th spot now, lapping another one of the cars on the outside. As they swing around the top corner, Revell desperately needs a second in order to clinch this series tonight. The lead still held by Barry Butterworth over Ray Oram. They're driving the Capital Motors Offenhauser team cars, and here they are coming up into the top corner. Shepherd goes through, Peter Canine, then Boland. Revell is the next one to go through in number 2, and Revell still has a hard road to hoe as he comes around now. 25 laps to go the next time around. Half distance gone in the Craven Filter National $8,000 Speed Car Drivers Championship final at the Sydney Showground, and Howard Revell sitting back in about 6th to 7th spot in the field.
There's Howard Revell coming through again on the tail of Peter Boland. There's Revell on right of screen. Ahead of them is Peter Canine. Peter Canine is running second behind Blair Shepherd. Down the back straight away and now into turn number 1. Revell getting a bit hooked up on the tail of Peter Boland as Peter Canine skips clear coming out of pit corner. Revell then is running in about 4th or 5th position, and the race into its 26th lap now. A little bit over the half of the distance has been completed. On left of screen there, Peter Canine. Following him is Peter Boland, then Howard Revell drifting pretty high as he goes down the back straight chute. Lines himself up for the pit corner. Howard Revell in 2 getting a little bit hooked up, and it's noticeable that he's not trying any dramatic passing moves. He's happy to stay where he is, but now he comes up on the inside of Peter Boland on the member stand corner. They both come up on the tail of Peter Canine, and Revell was the first to back off.
Oh, Revell's car not showing the sting it normally shows. Here's Peter Boland going inside of Peter Canine. Revell tries to follow him through. Canine sitting about mid-track there, and Howard Revell trying desperately to go to him on the inside. 28 laps now gone, and Revell now looks towards the inside. Here are the leaders. Barry Butterworth, Capital Motors Offie, number 76, leads over Ray Oram in the second Capital Motors Offie, number 7. They're running 1-2, and the next one to come through in 3rd place is Sid Middlemas in the Buckle Toyota. Plenty of red-packed machines left in the event, and here are the leaders down in the middle of the bottom corner. Teamwork at its best, teamwork at its most exciting. Barry Butterworth leads from Ray Oram as they complete the 30th lap. Around through the top corner they come. Beautiful lines from these two. Back in 3rd is Sid Middlemas. The next one through and running in 4th spot would be Sid Clark. The next is Blair Shepherd. The order, and Howard Revell still battling hard with Peter Canine.
Here's the race leader with something like 21 laps to go. Barry Butterworth down the finish straight away into turn number 1, hot on his heels. In the Offenhauser, though, is Ray Oram. Halfway through the member stand corner, Barry Butterworth from New Zealand at speed. Down the back straight away with Ray Oram glued to his tail now as they go into the pit corner. Butterworth in 76, Ray Oram, pint-sized ex-jockey driver in car number 7. Now down the finish straight away. Howard Revell about a half a lap behind these two drivers and content to stay where he is. Down the back straight away, Revell on the tail of Peter Canine. Now as they go into the pit corner, Howard Revell looks as though he might pull off the Craven Filter Championship, provided he can finish in one piece. There's Howard Revell going around the outside of Dankerville from Victoria, glued to the tail of veteran driver and former winner of the Craven Filter Championship, Peter Canine. They're halfway through the members stand corner. Howard Revell tucked out nice and low, comes out on the tail of Peter Canine, gave him a bit of a nudge. Now they line up for pit corner, and Revell ducks towards the inside, but Peter Canine has a bit too much sting, pulls away from him as they go down the finish straight away now. Peter Canine, veteran, into turn number 1 at the wheel of car 17. Youthful Howard Revell at the wheel of car number 2, following him halfway around the member stand corner, and now lines up for the back straight chute. Gets a little bit hooked up there, but it gets it under control nicely as again they negotiate the pit corner. Howard Revell back at about 4th or 5th position, and the race still being led by Barry Butterworth ahead of Ray Oram.
16 laps remain in the Craven Filter $8,000 National Grand Final. Howard Revell well back in the field, tries for the inside on Peter Canine. 15 laps down to go as he he goes inside of Canine in the bottom corner. Canine tries to go high and carry on with Ravel as they come onto the home straightaway. The order unchanged, and the lead still held by Barry Butterworth, former New Zealand driver, lead driver for the Capital Motors Aussie team. Running in second spot is Ray Oram, second team driver for the Capital Motors outfit, and running in third is Sid Middlemas in 54. Next back and forth would be Blair Shepherd of Queensland, and back in fifth Peter Boland. Sid Clark is the next one, and then Peter Canine and Howard Ravel on his tail. Up into the top corner they come, the leaders, and they've driven a marvellous race, a copybook race. Ravel desperate, wants to get through the pack, can't clear himself of the traffic no matter what he tries. Here he is again, trying the hardest race of his life in this event, and he has a veteran in front of him, a former Craven Filter national champion in Peter Canine. Stewart doesn't know where Ravel is on the track. He's been sitting well back in the pack after being spun out by Peter Boland. Stewart just watching the cars go by. Here's Ravel again, desperate this time for an inside pass on Peter Canine. He must pass Canine and get through into second spot in order to have any chance of taking the title. And it doesn't look as though he can do it, because they're coming up now for their 39th lap. Ravel inside Canine again, hammering away at the inside, trying to let Canine know it's Ravel trying to get hold of the national title, and Canine's only interested in one thing, and that's finishing and gaining points in this all-important title. The both of them are running up now on the tail end of Sid Clark in car number 51. Here they come up the home straight away now, and they've completed their 39th lap, moving on to their 40th lap, about 10 laps to go. Johnny Stewart has been lapped after being spun out, still continuing on in the Ron Hodgson Shell track burn, and here's Ravel. He got his chance, a beautiful piece of driving, got two cars in one hit that time. Clark and Canine now moves up on Peter Maltby, the Victorian. Maltby took a look at Ravel on the inside, lets him go through, and Butterworth almost brought undone that time by lap cars. Oram now's taken the lead.
Ray Oram into the lead now. Bad luck for Barry Butterworth, who was blocked by Peter Maltby of Victoria. But down the back straight shoot now, and lining up the pit corner, there goes Howard Ravel. He's done what he wanted to do, get around Peter Canine, comes off the pit corner now, goes down with only a handful of laps remaining, and it looks as though the Craven Filter Championship might go to Howard Ravel. On the members' stand corner, here comes Howard Ravel, as speed getting a little bit locked up though. He drifts a little bit high out towards the boards, gets himself straightened, now goes into the pit corner, and he seems to be getting a little bit tired at the wheel. I think the steering is starting to giving him some trouble. Here's Ray Oram, the centre of those three cars, leading the race with Barry Butterworth right on his tail. Coming up the left, Peter Canine. Cars very close together, and Peter Canine drifting up high there with Ray Oram as Howard Ravel again goes into pit corner, a little bit high again, but he seems to be beautifully under control.
7 laps remain in the Craven Filter National Grand Final, and the leader, Ray Oram, in the Capital Motors Aussie 7, Butterworth running in second spot. And the next one to run through there, Peter Canine was already been lapped. Ravel still chasing it hard. He's desperate, has to finish it. He doesn't know where he's running in the pack at the present time. Here are the leaders, Oram and Barry Butterworth. Team tactics played off in a big way, and Ravel well back in the pack at the present time. Comes through sideways now as they complete their 45th lap in the event. 5 laps to go, and although Johnny Stewart has been spun out of the event and continued on, it looks as though Stewart could take the Craven Filter National Championship for the 3rd successive year. Here's Butterworth losing a little ground this time to Ray Oram as they come up the home straightaway. Still back in 3rd spot in the event is Sid Middlemas. 4th in the event. Hard to say who's holding down 4th at the present time. Could almost even be Ravel. Stewart also still going, and there's the leader going down into the bottom corner. Ray Oram, the race leader, only 25 yards behind, lapping Howard Ravel as they come up to take about 4 laps to go. And Stewart bumped into the wall, this time by Maltby, the Victorian. Smashed into the wall, but he continues on in the event. Maltby causing interference all night. Here's Ravel down the back straightaway, and the leader's right on his tail. Number 7, Ray Oram on his tail. Car number 76, teammate Barry Butterworth. And running in 3rd is Sid Middlemas in the Buckle Toyota 54. Shepherd also going, but here's second place man Butterworth, driven the race of his life. And moving to the outside is Howard Ravel again as they come onto the back straightaway. Down to the bottom corner again, the laps starting to tick out. 48 laps gone in the Craven Filter Championship, and it needs at least the first 3 or 4 cars to spin in order to give Ravel any chance of taking the title. Down the back straightaway they come again. The leader, Ray Oram, on his tail, Barry Butterworth, sliding through turn number 3, the Craven Filter corner. There's Ravel. There's the leader going through behind him, Ray Oram, and the next one to come through is Barry Butterworth in car number 76. Forget the Craven Filter because they're coming round to take the yellow flag. Ray Oram takes it, and he's clear of Barry Butterworth. Running in 3rd spot is Sid Middlemas. That's the order. Coming around behind them in car number 2, Howard Revell, but he's well out of the picture. Down to the bottom corner now for the final time. Ray Oram, driven the race of his life, former apprentice jockey, but he's taken the New South Wales State Final to the Craven Filter with a beautiful drive in the Capital Steam car. Running in second with Barry Butterworth, and Howard Revell still going through the top corner. Third home to finish in the event was Sid Middlemas, and a huge ovation going up now from this crowd of 30,000 spectators at the Sydney Showground. Revell coming round on the tail of Stewart, and that's about the way they finished in the Craven Filter point score, because Johnny Stewart has won the money. Stewart in the Ron Hodgson Shell Track burner with enough points up his sleeve has taken the Craven Filter $8,000 National Championship trophy for the third successive year.
Well, what a sensational finish to the Craven Filter Grand Final. Johnny Stewart, who lost the best part of a lap after spinning off, has still won the Grand Final. Howard Revell drove the race of his life in car number 2. There he is on right of screen, going around Johnny Stewart, and oddly enough, they just sort of went past and didn't look at each other, but Johnny Stewart won because Howard Revell just couldn't get through the pack quickly enough. And there is the winner of the Craven Filter National Championship on right of screen, Johnny Stewart.